Chosen ones, in the depths of life, unseen forces and divine justice are always watching your movements. While some may take the easy way out, hoping to backstab and wreak havoc around them, the eye of God waits silently behind these treacherous games with a hidden justice. Whether they like it or not, a select few are born to stand out, while others are made to fit in. Have you ever wondered why even people you don't know follow you, or why eyes linger a little too long in a room? The uncomfortable truth is that you are being watched as well as just living your life. And no, it's a purpose rather than paranoia. Before we go any further, please help this message reach more people by clicking the like button below this video. Don't forget to subscribe because it's your duty to help spread this message far and wide. For every chosen one who continues to question their own worth and power, what you are about to hear is much more than a message. It is a wake-up call. Together, let's raise the flame. According to psychologists, people are attracted to those who defy expectations. But when you are one of God's chosen ones, it becomes more than mere curiosity. It becomes an obsession. People are drawn to you because of your radiance, your fortitude, and your courage to take risks. It's not just that you neglected to comb your hair this morning. Your every move is pushed outside their comfort zone. Routines, predictable outcomes, and environments free from thought-provoking situations make people feel comfortable. But when you step in, everything changes. This message is the story of outstanding beings who reflect both the faith in their hearts and the spirit that challenges the world. Remember, your every step attracts the attention of both unseen eyes and divine justice. No matter how challenging the realities, for the chosen ones, destiny will always pursue truth and justice. You make people reevaluate what they believe to be normal or appropriate without even trying. You simply exist in a different way, not because you are loud or trying to attract attention. Their safe, predictable environment is disturbed by something about your presence, your attitude, and your way of life. They observe you because they cannot define you. You are both attractive and annoying because you don't live by the same rules as everyone else. They watch you make decisions they wouldn't dare make themselves, or pursue goals they would never dare pursue. If your heart is overflowing with God's grace, now is the time to let your love shine. When you click on the Super Thank button and donate $100 or more, you will be doing much more than helping this platform. The seeds of faith you plant will impact many lives. Beyond your physical senses, God's riches are reflected in your donations. Be a supporter of His grace and live your destiny. Give with confidence and His kingdom will grow through you. You are made for more. Their cozy little cocoon suddenly shrinks and becomes limited because your presence shows them what is available outside the cocoon. This makes them deeply uneasy. While jealousy is a factor, it has more to do with how your life subtly raises the question, what is stopping you from living with the same courage? Because such questions require change and change is difficult, most people avoid them. Write 77 to take your advantages and see God's plan come to life in front of you. But they cannot avoid them when you are around. So they observe to unlock the key to your courage, or perhaps just to see if you are faltering, so they can advocate to stay in their comfort zone. The trick is that you are not trying to create any disturbance. You are just living in accordance with a greater purpose, which by its very nature subverts everything that is not based on the same principles. And even if it makes them uncomfortable, people are affected by it whether they accept it or not. That's why they can't stop watching. Secondly, you exude an inexplicable authority. You are here for a reason. If you feel it, it's time to answer the call. By clicking the Join button, you can access deep insights, unique information, and a powerful community willing to accompany you on your journey. This is an opportunity to fully embrace your divine destiny and seize the path designed for you. It is more than just a membership. Don't delay. Come on in. Become one of the chosen ones. A certain kind of authority cannot be faked. It's not about being the loudest person in the room, or having a huge following, or even having a fancy title. It is something deeper, something intangible but unquestionable. People feel your divine mission before they even understand it. It changes their mood. They may not understand why, but when you walk in, they realize you are different, and that makes them pay attention. The crazy part? Maybe you don't even realize it. You are just living your life according to the will that God has given you. But those around you notice it immediately. They can see it in your demeanor, your ability to make choices without always seeking approval, and your ability to keep your cool in the face of chaos. This kind of presence demands respect, whether others choose to reciprocate or not. The problem is that some people find the authority that comes from God offensive. The reason your power is so strong is because it is calm and steady, while theirs is loud, aggressive, and showy. They observe you because they want to know why, but they cannot identify the source. They are puzzled because it violates all the rules of influence they know. They are observing, trying to understand how you have managed to be so present without trying, and some of them will be appalled by it, while others will admire you for it. Actually, it is not something that you have earned or achieved. It is something that God has bestowed upon you, and that kind of power is impossible to replicate, manipulate, or rationalize. They continue to observe you for how you stand out. Third, you thrive in the midst of storms that others avoid. You manage the storms of life in an almost mesmerizing way. While others tremble, falter, or crumble under the pressure, you seem to thrive in precisely the conditions that most people fear. When everything seems to be crumbling, you don't just survive. You go beyond it. Others cannot fully understand this kind of spiritual resilience, but neither can they ignore it. It is amazing how you manage to keep your composure and find strength and direction even in the most challenging circumstances. People pay attention to you because of the way you deal with difficulties. Instead of letting difficulties crush you, you manage to change them. Where others would despair, you emerge stronger, wiser, and saner. If you believe in the Lord's steadfast love, His ever-present presence, and His sovereign plan for your life. Write 33, because He is faithful and keeps His word. It's as if the storms don't pass you by, but rather shape, polish, and strengthen you in ways that others can only dream of. Your capacity to thrive in the face of failure is evidence of a deeper source of purpose and conviction. This remarkable capacity for resilience attracts people because it makes them think about how they deal with life's challenges. How do you manage to remain so steady when everything around you is shaking? Why do you have the will to keep going when others have already given up? That is why they are watching. You are a real-life example of how storms can lift you up instead of destroying you. People are attracted to the strength that comes from having spiritual resilience, and that comes through your ability to face challenges. It is impressive to see that you not only face the storm, but also overcome it. Fourth, your failures have a reason. Especially for someone with a goal, failures have a way of attracting attention. People want their chosen ones to be perfect, but when you make a mistake, it's like they get closer. Not only because they are curious, they want to see how you deal with the aftermath. What they don't always understand is that your narrative doesn't end with your failures. These are plot twists in a journey that is divinely instructive. There is a strange vibration in the air when things go wrong for you. Instead of collapsing like others, you grow, change, and sometimes become stronger than before. And that makes people interested in you. Even if the comeback is motivating in itself, it's not the only thing. People are interested in the way you accept responsibility for your mistakes and use them to your advantage. By overcoming feelings of humiliation, loss, or disappointment without compromising your identity, you allow others to do the same. Your resilience shows them that failure is an aberration rather than a dead end. Although they don't always admit it, people admire the way you manage these awkward and delicate situations. Children are taught that it's not the perfect victories, but the simple struggles you endure to climb back up. People learn from you whether they realize it or not, and your experience of failure becomes a model for resilience. The beauty is that what should have brought you down eventually teaches someone else a valuable lesson. God uses your failures to lift others up. This explains why people are drawn your way and why your failures matter. The fifth is that you have an invisible army with you. People find it hard to pinpoint exactly what it is about you. This is something much deeper than charm or self-confidence. You go about your life with a calm confidence, as if you realize that you are never alone. In reality, you are not alone. People can sense the presence of your invisible army even if they cannot see it. They observe that doors that are tightly closed for everyone else open for you. Somehow, circumstances that were meant to be setbacks serve as a prelude to greater things. As if some unseen force is paving the way, you find a way around obstacles when others cannot. People are affected by this, even if they don't understand it. It's not only about goodness, it's also about protection. You have faced challenges that should have damaged you, and yet you came out unscathed. There have been times when everything should have collapsed, and yet you have survived. I ask my chosen friends, to keep the light that God has given you, would you please click on the Super Thank button and donate at least $50? Whether they accept it or not, when people see this, they are interested. How can a person survive what you have gone through? In their hearts, they know that it is more than luck or coincidence. They see a divine intervention, a heavenly army that has gone before you, defending you and keeping you safe. This is God's promise, not magic. With this invisible presence, you don't have to force yourself or control circumstances to get what you want. You have a magnetic sense of trust that there is a force working in your favor. Even if people don't understand, they can't object to it. They keep observing to solve the riddle of the invisible army accompanying you. Sixth, your happiness is an act of defiance. Your happiness is a welcome change in a society where pessimism and hopelessness are the norm. But it is also a powerful statement. People are used to accepting challenges, tension, and pessimism as normal aspects of life. But when you come with unshakable happiness, it is as if you are completely changing the course of events. You seem to be saying something like, "I refuse to conform to the hopelessness of this world." Your happiness is intentional. It is neither naive nor misguided. It's actually a kind of rebellion against the depressing attitude, the constant onslaught of negative news and polarizing viewpoints that permeate so many people's lives. You remain calm and stable while others are driven to negativity. While this kind of happiness is contagious, it can also be confusing for people who have never experienced it. They want to know how you maintain your optimism when everything around you is telling you to be anxious, sad, or defeated. They observe because your joy contradicts the story they have been taught about life. They are told by the world that happiness is for the lucky, the ignorant, or the fortunate. But your happiness comes from a deeper source that others cannot fully understand. They watch you smile and float above the chaos when others might fall apart. And they want to know why. It is radical in every sense of the term. Your pleasure is so powerful because it defies logic in a society where pain is the norm. People are attracted to it, even if they don't know how to accept it for themselves. The great thing is that despite a society that tells you it's impossible, you don't just survive, you thrive. They keep watching because they want to know how you manage to be so strong despite everything. The seventh is that you fulfill what they ask for in their prayers. Your discoveries tend to coincide with the unspoken wishes of those around you, which is almost uncanny. While others pray silently for prosperity, peace, or miracles, your life becomes the fulfillment of what others only dare to ask for silently. There is no need to boast or preach about how lucky you are. The job you get, the friendship that develops, and the unexpected opportunities that come your way are things that others can see firsthand. All this seems to be the answer to prayers they have never prayed aloud. But this is not a coincidence. It is more than luck or coincidence. It is a manifestation of divine grace. People follow you because your achievements seem to be the answer to their own silent prayers, not just because they are interested in your life. When they see your resurrection, they feel that their own prayers can be answered. They are interested in your story because they want to see what happens when God's hand works, even in the most ordinary situations. They may find it distasteful. Seeing someone else's blessing come true may make them feel jealous, uncertain, or insecure, but they want to think that it is possible for them too. They fail to see that your manifestation is a living, breathing reminder that God's grace doesn't have to be distant or unattainable, that it's not just about you. Every breakthrough you experience tells them that it can happen to you too, and that is why they are watching you closely. If they watch long enough, they hope to discover the key to reaping the same benefits for themselves. They may not see that the secret is not the procedure. What is meant for you will work its way to you if you have faith, if you connect with it, and if you are ready to trust it. And you are showing them that it is possible just by living it. Eighth, you radiate a mysterious and contagious confidence. You exude a calm assurance that both amazes others and makes them feel a little uncertain. This is not the kind of confidence that tries to prove anything or get attention. Knowing who you are and what you have to achieve gives you a sense of divine confidence. It is a confidence that is independent of applause, appreciation, or approval from others. And this is uncomfortable for those who rely on the approval of others to survive. They cannot understand how you can act with such confidence in a world that feeds on uncertainty. What makes you so interesting is that your confidence is not obvious or loud. It doesn't have to be. It just is. People are drawn to you for your calm strength and wonder where it comes from. How do you maintain your confidence in the face of uncertainty and the skepticism of others? They keep watching because the solutions are never clear. Your comfort is a problem that others are trying to solve, who determine their worth based on what others think of them. Your reassurance causes them to reassess their own need for external validation. They can't help but be drawn into your sphere of attraction as they try to unravel your secret. In addition to being handsome, your confidence is contagious. It is uncanny because it stems from something that people cannot see, touch, or control. It comes from your purpose, your faith, and your connection to something much bigger than yourself. People are attracted to this kind of confidence not because they want to undermine you, but because they secretly wish they could walk with the same certainty. You are making people question whether they themselves can discover this divine assurance if they stop relying on external validation. Ninth, they cannot escape you because you are a mirror. You have a special ability to make others see themselves without saying a word. Even if you don't want to, your presence acts as a mirror and reflects to others aspects of themselves that they would rather ignore. Just by being yourself, you push them to face what they have buried deep inside. Goals they have written off as unattainable. Fears they have covered with layers of armor. You are not trying to make them uncomfortable or to show them their shortcomings. It makes people uncomfortable, even if they don't admit it. You serve as a living example of what could happen if they had the courage to pursue their own potential. Their own anxieties and self-doubt are brought about by your confidence in yourself and your capacity to follow your beliefs. They are forced to confront the disparity between their current state and their ideal state. Why am I not doing more? Why am I holding myself back? Is the last thing most people want to think about when they are with you. It is easier to live under the illusion that everything is fine and that they are happy with the life they have created than to face the reality that they are not reaching their full potential. However, you don't let them avoid this reality. Every time they see you taking action, moving towards your goals or living life in balance, it is a gentle reminder to them that they too can do more. That's why they can't ignore you. You act as a mirror that reflects back to them everything they are afraid to admit, whether they want to admit it or not. They keep watching because your presence forces them to face what they have been avoiding. Because deep down they hope that when they see you, they will have the courage to face their own truth. Number 10. Most people are crushed under the weight you carry. Others may not fully understand the responsibility of being chosen, but they can feel the weight of it. It is such a weight that it is noticeable in every step you take, but it does not make a big announcement. People can perceive the seriousness of your mission and the importance of your journey. Although it is a burden, you can carry it with calm dignity, like a cloak. Others may be aware of the burden you carry, but they admire your ability to keep going without giving up. Sometimes they cannot understand how you do it. The things that would bring most people down are difficulties, disappointments, times when life seems to throw everything at you at once. But you are determined. Your determination is unshakable. You seem almost supernaturally strong, as if you were designed to carry these burdens. Also, you don't feel overwhelmed like someone else might feel. They don't realize that the strength they find so fascinating doesn't come from some hidden reservoir within you. It is a power bestowed upon you by the mission you are pursuing. You are not the only one carrying this burden. When your burden seems too heavy, you are being fed from a divine source, a power greater than yourself. Even though you may sometimes feel worn out or exhausted, it is your sense of purpose that keeps you going. This enables you to carry things that others could never do. People observe with amazement and confidence that someone can endure so much without breaking, but also because they cannot identify the source of this strength. They can't turn away because of the supernatural strength that sustains you and your capacity to carry such a weight in a world that would crumble. Number 11. Your success is irrational. Your success is a mystery that defies all rational interpretation. You manage to keep getting up even when everything around you tells you that it is impossible, when the odds are against you, and when failure seems to be your only option. And it's not just a fluke or a short-term anomaly, rather it's a trend, a persistent rejection of social norms. People can't help but stare in amazement as they try to understand how you succeed in situations that would bring everyone else down. They want to know how you achieve the seemingly impossible. It doesn't look right from the outside. The resources that others rely on are not available to you. You continue to succeed, grow, and achieve, even though you haven't taken the traditional paths to success. You seem to have entered a separate set of rules that do not follow the same logic as theirs. They don't realize that what they see as a logical contradiction is actually the manifestation of divine grace in your life. Within the framework of God's purpose, what seems incomprehensible to them makes perfect sense. Trusting in a greater purpose, acting in faith, and seizing the opportunities that come your way, even when they don't seem designed for you, is the key to success, not following the tried and true earthly prescription. This mystery attracts them. Because they are trying to see your success through human rather than divine lenses, they cannot identify its source. You are a living example of how insignificant worldly expectations are as far as God is concerned. And people are affected by this whether they want to admit it or not, because your success is a reminder that in a world of rationality, the extraordinary is always possible. Number 12. You reinterpret the normal. People are often categorized by the roles that are expected of them, the rules they must follow, and the careers they are expected to pursue. However, none of these stereotypes apply to you. People can't stop watching you because you are the exception rather than the norm. Every element of your life dispels the myth that there is a set formula for achieving pleasure, success, or meaning. On the contrary, you show them that neither God nor they themselves should follow human models. It is impossible to miss the divine privilege in the way you glide through the world. You follow a set rhythm and make decisions that seem unreasonable to the typical observer, yet they take you to places most people would never dare to visit. Your life serves as a model of what happens when you follow your larger calling rather than being limited by social expectations. It is also magnetic. People are fascinated by the way you defy expectations, chart your own course, and pursue a mission that goes beyond traditional notions of success. Their perception of you is a constant reminder that there is no one-size-fits-all recipe for success. You show them that the most effective and fulfilling life is the one that follows divine guidance rather than social constraints, even if they are conditioned to follow the rules. Your redefinition of normal leads them to reconsider the limits they have accepted, and this makes them think about what is possible if they live by a different standard. Therefore, they cannot go back. Your life is more than a narrative. It is a subconscious call to enter into something bigger and more sacred, a challenge to their accepted standards. Through God's influence in your life, you are a living example that normal is a concept that can be defined as you see fit. 13. You serve as a constant reminder of the paranormal. Your presence is a powerful paradox in a society driven by evidence, logic, and what is observable, sensible, and measurable. You are a vivid reminder that the material world is only one aspect of life. People cannot ignore the fact that you have a supernatural quality that challenges what society thinks is possible. The idea that the miraculous is no longer possible is challenged by your presence. People find it hard to ignore you when the possibilities present themselves, when everything seems to be going wrong, when you make one breakthrough after another despite the obstacles, and when doors open for you despite everything. They sense that something more important is going on in your life, but they can't quite articulate it. You seem to function in a world where divine grace has turned the status quo upside down, and the impossible has become conceivable instead of existing only within the boundaries of natural law. Your life becomes tangible proof that God is still at work today, still working miracles and accomplishing incredible feats. For those who are pessimistic, disillusioned, or resigned to the limitations of life, You become proof that the supernatural is real and not just a fantasy. When they see you, they ask, "How does this happen? How does this person continue to overcome difficulties?" And they can't help but admire you, because they know in their hearts that what they see doesn't match their view of the world. Therefore, they cannot go back. You are more than a living being. You are a living example of the invisible, a tangible reminder that the power of God is still at work today, changing lives in inexplicable ways. Just by being who you are, you exemplify the impossible becoming possible. So when people see you, they witness the extraordinary. In a society focused on the measurable, the explainable, and the mathematical, you are living proof of something much more important. You are the epitome of divine grace, a reminder that God does not work according to human models or rational constraints. Your failures teach you resilience, not setbacks. Your happiness is an act of dramatic rebellion against a world full of negativity, not a fleeting feeling. Your self-confidence is a peaceful certainty that stems from something much deeper than what is immediately apparent. It is not arrogance, and your success, defying human expectations and guided by a divine purpose, is a mystery that leaves others in awe. You are a living example of the paranormal, challenging everyone's preconceived ideas of what is possible. Most people would be crushed under the weight you carry, but you thrive, proving to them that life is more than what society says they can do. Your mere existence encourages others to rethink what normal means, uncovering buried longings and forcing them to face their reality. Your life serves as proof that God is still able to do the seemingly impossible, and that is why others are watching. The path of your life, your decisions, and your unwavering faith are a model of what it means to live with divine purpose. Moreover, they are doing more than watching you. They are seeing a mirror of what they too can do if they believe in the invisible, courageously follow their calling, and live with the conviction that nothing is impossible for God. So keep walking, keep evolving, and keep being the miracle that people are eager to see. After all, your life does not belong only to you. It is living, breathing proof of the divine might of a God who continues to open doors, move mountains, and defy human reason. And this story is worth following. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if what you have read has motivated you, and if you want to learn more about the incredible potential within you. There is more to this journey than just observing. To get involved, donate over $50 by clicking the Super Thank button below. We want you to be part of the change that is happening. Give this message to someone who needs to hear it today by liking, commenting, and sharing. Let's share the message that anything is possible when God is involved. Be part of the community as together we rewrite the possibilities for our lives. Stay awake, be fortunate, and never forget that you are a living example of God's grace.